the fundamental attitude that weds my heart to reality. Let me try to tie together some of the strands of these reflections, especially 3 strands which perhaps have not yet met. The first is what I said about the way in which we are transformed, metamorphosized, not fundamentally through our own self-directed efforts, but through looking beyond ourselves and letting our hearts be captured by the ineffable beauty of the love of God revealed in Christ. The second is the incarnational nature of authentic spirituality, which is not a flight from the vivid concreteness of our human existence in this world, but rather the transparency of this very existence to God, who is intimately present within each created thing and each moment, even while surpassing them and seeking to approach the heart direct and unmediated. The third theme that has been continually cropping up again and again, and which, in my opinion, lies at the very heart of the spiritual life and our relationship with God, namely, the attitude of childlike confidence and light-hearted playfulness. Perhaps it is already evident how these 3 strands are really deeply and inseparably interwoven, but it would still be beneficial to try and make this more visible. It has become more apparent to me over the years that one of the greatest enemies of the flowering of our spiritual life is a certain heaviness of heart, usually with accompanying feelings of discouragement, frustration, or shame. And this comes about ordinarily from a fundamentally self-directed focus in our life and prayer, a focus that is motivated either by an excessive fear or by a belief that it is up to us to make sure things turn out okay in the end. This heaviness of heart is tied also to another obstacle that is frequently present in human life or in certain spiritual books: an excessive emphasis on general or abstract standards or principles which, while valid in themselves, have lost touch with the primacy of the person and of God's unique presence and activity at the heart of creation and of each individual human life. The important thing in both of these situations is to turn one's gaze wholeheartedly to what is real, and not upon one's own struggles or fears, nor upon abstract standards which may not apply to one's particular case, or to the case of the person whom one is accompanying. It is to open all the doors of one's soul, in other words, to the already present mystery of God and His love in this moment, and to seek to make contact with this presence, to feel it, to receive it, to surrender to it. This is how the confusion of our own wounds, which speak their lies into our minds, as well as obscure, false beliefs, can really give way to or be permeated by a deeper understanding of both head and heart. This, in turn, gives birth to a deeper certainty and security in the God who is deeply at work here and now in an intimately personal and ineffably intimate way. This whole movement is somewhat like the gift and invitation that Peter received when he encounters Christ walking towards him on the water of the sea in the middle of the night. Peter himself, captured by the beauty of the one who approaches him on the waves, asks, "If it is you, Lord, bid me come to you on the water." Christ says, "Come," and so Peter comes. And as long as his gaze is fixed on Jesus, he can walk on water, because he is supported and sheltered by the gaze of Christ that enfolds and upholds him. He remains in a living relationship with the other, such that the beauty and goodness of the other continually awakens desire and love in Peter's heart, allowing him to walk forward and place his hand in the hand of the one who loves him. But whenever he looks away at the waves and takes note of the wind and begins to focus on the fear within his own heart, he begins to sink. A mere man can't walk on water, which is, of course, a totally reasonable and seemingly valid objection, but it's missing the essential ingredient. This is not a matter of Peter doing the impossible, but of Jesus showing Peter just how powerful, loving, and good he is, even in the places where Peter finds himself to be most inadequate and out of his own control. This example illustrates an attitude which can indeed exist at every moment of our life. We could say that it is this: the attitude of confident trust in the goodness of God, which enables us to keep our eyes fixed on the beauty, goodness, and truth that unceasingly touch our hearts, and, in doing so, sustain us at every moment in a light-hearted playfulness that carries us across the waves of this life and into an ever-deepening intimacy with God. That was a rather detailed sentence. Perhaps it would be good to reread it. We see here how the three strands mentioned above come together as one. First, the beauty of Christ that attracts my heart and his gaze that tenderly sustains me at every moment. A gaze that communicates to me both his unique love for me and his desire to unite me to himself. Second, the beauty of creation in which and through which he comes to me, as long as I keep my eyes and heart open to see its truly sacramental meaning, and not to focus on the obscurity and brokenness that dwells within it because of sin. Third, the way that this beauty of God itself and the love that touches me through his gaze lifts up and enriches my heart, creating in me a disposition of childlike trust and gratitude, allowing me to let go of the achieving and fashioning attitude in order to live instead in an attitude of playfulness. In a word, my heart is so sensitized by the one who approaches me at every moment that I learn to live my life as a divine dance, in which I listen with the whole of my being to the being of God, who communicates himself to me, both at the heart of created reality as well as in the inmost recesses of my own heart, and allow myself to be moved by the one who leads the dance, gripping me tenderly with the beauty of the music of eternity, whose strains can already be heard sounding in every moment of time.